Hello everyone, welcome to episode 38 of How to Play Like a WoT Pro. Today we're going to be taking a look at a replay on Cliff in the VZ55. This replay wasn't played by me. I was actually asking somebody for a replay and they gave me one. So I figured I would watch this replay live. I haven't seen this yet, and just react to it and say what they do well and what they do poorly. I'm going to leave this person anonymous because this isn't their account unless I'm messaging them on Discord right now, and if they want me to name them, then I'll put their name in the description and in the comments, as well as links to their socials. But without further ado, let's get right into it. As you can see, I'm just going to call him Brother Andrew because that's the name of the account. Brother Andrew, I'm just going to say Andrew, does not have field mods and is not running HP. Besides that, we don't know what equipment they're running. I'm probably guessing V-stab, vents, and then like improved aiming unit or something. And in this matchmaking, what's the first things that I'm thinking? Well, first of all, they have no artillery, which is on Cliff a huge relief. But this is a full tier 10 game. Now personally, I would usually go middle on Cliff. They have a lot of fast tanks, so I wouldn't go out here like I usually do to shoot tanks that are driving in. Especially because a lot of these tanks are just as fast as the VZ and they could easily get to the corner at the same time as you and just start trading with you. So it looks like it's having a little battle with the Progetto. Very fun. I hope that this is the right replay, because this does not look like it's going very well so far. I mean, at least he's in a perfect position to pre-aim the hill. I mean, not really perfect, but an okay position. I'm just gonna speed ahead and see if this is the right replay. This is not what I expected to see. Can't lie, I mean, there's not much for me to comment on. Okay, finally this guy fucks off. But as you can see, right away, that was kind of something that you can't really expect. So I'm not really going to comment on that. I'm just going to comment on the current situation. So right now, he's still kind of in the base. It's 2 minutes into the battle. They're down 3,000 HP. They have the hill, which is very important because this guy can farm everybody who tries to go across the 9 line. They have 1-2 as well, but there's like 7 enemies coming around the hill. So what would I do in this situation? Well, looking at what's spotted, they have nothing left. They only have 2 TDs and a 60 TP. So they have nothing that can take the hill. And they have nothing that can really contest the middle. So what I'm thinking is, it's kind of just a free pass to drive up the hill right now and farm these guys. You could alternatively face them head on, but I don't think that's a good idea because they can go wide here and then get hull down on you, and then you're kind of just facing hull down tanks, and it's not good. If you try to push along the edge of the cliff, then they get wide on you and they just kill you. But we'll see what this person decides to do in this situation. So it seems like they're opting to just face them head on. This isn't what I would personally have done, but we'll just say that this is the play that's being made, and we'll say what the best decision is to do in this situation. So not the best shot there, but he gets one into the Foch. And now the E100 overcommitted. This is what I was talking about. If you push around this corner, you just get caught in a crossfire, and it's really just a terrible situation to be in. So again, I think I would fall back here and go take the hill. But he decides to just stay. The Foch 155 is dying to the hill. As you can see, the teammates have taken the hill. So now that I think about it, there's actually probably so many people on the hill at this point that all of the enemies that are wide are just gonna die. So maybe staying close right now is actually not a bad idea. I still think earlier it was the right idea to take the hill, but I guess I can understand the reason why you would stay close in this situation. Now this game looks pretty close still, like HP wise and tank wise it's equal. But I would say that his team is in a better position right now. Now ideally here, you have these 3 guys above you. So these 2 are preoccupied, so you can kind of just trade with the IS-7, and this is what the VZ's really good at. You just put 2 shots in, doesn't even take 1 in return, so it's basically just free real estate. And now the enemies are in a terrible position because we have the hill. He decides to take the shot and kill this guy. I would probably do the same. It's time to start putting on the pressure because your team is in an advantageous position. And these guys are falling back, so if these guys fall back all the way around the corner, then you can just take the low ground here. And there's no real risk to you because all of these guys are covering you, so if they try to re-push you, then you just kill them. Now he's trying to get a shot on the 780, doesn't manage to do it, unfortunately. Now I think reloading is an okay play. I think it's a safe play. And then once he's mostly reloaded, then I think he can commit in, and it's not a risk. I think he should commit. So he's going with the STB. This guy actually over peaks. Now the only tank that's unlit right now is the Sturv, who you can assume is most likely A5. But if you pay attention, the 121B is actually taking the hill, and he'll most likely win it unless the 4K5 pens him. He continues, gets a shot into the TVP. Now what I would be thinking is, you know the Sturv is most likely A5, so you can't just go this way. It doesn't make any sense. You basically have 2 plays. The first play is to commit to go down here and then get all the way here. And from here, you can shoot these guys in the back as they go up the hill. The problem is, if they win the top of the hill, then suddenly you can no longer shoot them because they're on the high ground, and then they can just turn around and then you're just stuck in a hole. So that's the first option, is to go there. The second option is to just fall back all the way and go back middle or something like that. Just basically get out of here because this area that he is in right now is going to be unsafe soon. Now luckily for his team, the 4K5 kills the Progetto. There's a Sturv and A5. I would actually stop here once I'm unlit and then just pull up here and blind shoot it twice. Because you know that he's on the right side of this rock just from the damage indicator. But he decides not to do that. And he's going with the second option, which is to retake middle. So the TVP is actually one shot. And I would honestly just go kill the TVP right now. Unless the 60 TP pokes this corner, then the TVP is basically just a free kill. And what I would be thinking right now is, if you kill the TVP and this 60 TP is in the low ground, which he most likely is because they're pushing the E4, then you can get above them and basically farm them. So he kills his TVP. I just noticed, by the way, his ping isn't the best. And as you can see, he's asking the STB to come help him. I would do that as well. Because if they all turn around, then you're not going to be able to hold this all by yourself. But I definitely agree with this decision to get above them. Unfortunately, the rest of the team doesn't seem to really care. And they're not following. Now what you need to be careful of here is, if you poke right here to shoot these guys in the low ground, then the Sturv will have an angle on you, so you just have to be careful how far you poke. But poking this far won't get you shot at all. That was a good shot. And he pens a roof as well, which was good. Now, one thing to keep in mind is we don't actually know the HP of the 60 TP. And I don't think we know, I think we do know the HP of the Manticore, I think he's full. But the 60 TP was never spotted in render. And in fact, he isn't spotted here either. He wasn't spotted when these two guys were pushing the E4, so there's a pretty good chance that the 60 TP has come back somewhere and is over here, or is doing some weird shit. But it's also possible that he's still in this area, but I would be kind of suspecting that he's probably somewhere in this area. But it's just important to keep vision on what's trying to push up at him. And as long as it's just the E3 pushing him, then it's completely fine. Now you'll notice he waits to get unspotted and then he comes over here, surprising the E3. He goes for a track shot, which is the correct play. So that enables him to get in 2 shots, and that was pretty good. I think he's afraid of getting shot by the 121B there, which I didn't even notice, to be honest. So he decides to go forward instead and take the shot from the Sturb, but the Sturb doesn't even shoot. And where the hell is this 780 going, bro? This E3 would just be dead if he just went here, then the E3 is in no man's land. I have no idea what the 780 is doing. But this is a very precarious situation because the Sturb should have shots on him right now. Now for some reason the Sturv's not shooting him. I don't really know why. But he can't take a hit from the E3, so he doesn't really have an option right now. The only option he has is to either hug this rock and hope the Sturb doesn't shoot him, or to pull back and risk the 121B shooting him, which is probably what I would have done. Because there's no real reason to suspect that the Sturv isn't still there. The 780 seems not very intelligent. He's finally trying to make a play on the E3. That shot wasn't the best. That one was a little bit too low. But the E3 bounces, which is the chance that these two needed to kill him. 780 bounces, unsurprisingly. And sitting right here is the right play because the E3 can't aim at both of you at the same time, so. Decides to let his teammate shoot him, which I guess is a team play. I would have stolen the damage personally. Now here's the 60 TP. He finally shows up. He was actually on the 1 line and he pushed over here. Not sure why he didn't get spotted when they were killing the E4. Honestly, not really sure why, but as you can see, he's actually like a 1-shot or a 2-shot actually, so. But we're also a 1-shot for the 60 TP, so. Here he gets a little bit lucky. The 60 TP could have definitely killed him here, but it was the right play to not push in. There's kind of a timing thing. If he stayed unspotted and the 60 TP, if you see that he's capping, then you know that you can close in. But if you see that he gets off cap, then you know that you can't push in because he could poke on you. I don't know why there was a firing sound right there. This is way too aggressive in my opinion. He gets really lucky here. I think that was a mistake to push in. He shouldn't have done that. Because honestly, it was just lucky that the 60 TP bounced. And the thing is, in theory, the 780 was covering him and should just kill the 60 TP when he pokes, but the 780 has already proved that he's incompetent, so I wouldn't trust him to do it, honestly. But maybe he was worried about the Sturv coming behind or something, or the Sturv going uphill, or the Manticore finding shots, but now we're in a situation where there's a Sturv who's on unknown HP, but he's most likely full because he's been unspotted the whole game. And then there's a Manticore on like 1,000. And I think he aimed an appropriate amount there. He aimed just enough so that he could still get 2 shots in. Unfortunately, he misses though. Here you could think about loading HE, but I probably wouldn't. As long as you hit both your shots, APCR is fine. He's not looking at the Sturv right now. I'm not sure why not. But he notices the Sturv now. Now you just need to pre-aim here and try to get a shot into the Sturv, and that's what he does. I would immediately reload, and that's what he does. The reason why you want to reload is because you can't one-shot the Manticore without getting a high roll. And now you have a tough decision. The Sturv is going on top of the hill, but you have probably a 25-second gap before he's actually going to be able to shoot down on you. So you could either try to YOLO the Manticore, trying to cut off his path by going here maybe, before that 25 seconds is up, and then kill him before the Sturv gets up here. Or you can just disengage and retake the one line basically. I would be tempted to go for the Manticore even though I know it's extremely risky. The reason why is there's only 4 minutes left on the timer and you're against a light tank, so if you let that light tank get out, then what are your options? You can either try to push like this or like this after retaking the one line, but if the Sturv is smart, he'll outlight you and then he'll get the first shot in, and he's 2-shot and this guy's a 1-shot. This guy will be left in a terrible situation because of the Manticore could come back at any time, and then he's in a crossfire. 1 second. And the other thing is, so besides these 2 paths, if you try to get on cap, then the Manticore can just outlight you. If you try to push up here, the Sturv will outlight you from hill and then shoot you. So basically, if you are going back to the one line, the play that you're most likely going to have to go for is just hoping that the Sturv isn't poking the side that you decide to push. I'd probably push from up here and then drive up the hill and hope that the Sturv isn't lighting you and that the Manticore hasn't relocated all the way to here. And it also is possible that the Sturv will shoot you once, he gets lit, and then you somehow pen him in return, or the 780 pens him, but looking at what the 780 is doing right now, it's not going to happen. 780 is not going to kill the Sturv. I don't know what he's doing, really. I guess he's just afraid of getting shot by crossing here, but the Sturv wasn't even up the hill at that point, I don't think, so it was safe to cut across. So they did get lit going out, and the Manticore is actually on their base. You know it's the Manticore because the Sturv wouldn't be fast enough to do that. So what I would do in this situation, I might just try to figure out exactly which side of the hill the Sturv is on, because unless he's sitting on the very edge of the hill here, he can't watch both sides. So if you just spot check this corner, you can see if he's poking, and if he's not poking, you could cross up into the middle and then go up on this side of the hill. You'd want to go up on this side of the hill rather than this side, because if you go on this side, then the Manticore, who's over here, could come into this area here or just anywhere in this area and shoot you if you get spotted going up, which you most likely would. If you go on the north side, then the Manticore can't shoot you. So he decides to just push in. If the Sturv was right here, then this could be a bad play. That's why I would have spot checked it first. But lucky for him, the Sturv is not there. the Sturv actually came off the hill. I don't think this was a terrible play to push this, but I just think it would have been a little bit safer to spot check it first. Now, going this direction is 100% the right play because you want to cut off the Manticore's escape. There you see the Manticore, he's exactly like right here, or right here. And you just want to trap him in the corner of the map. Ideally the 780 would just pull back and just watch this gap here, and then since you're a two-shot, you're the one who should be able to push in. Or you could just both rush him at the same time, but the worst thing that could happen right now is the Manticore takes the corner of the map and he gets in one free shot as you move in. Because then it's hard to do anything. And this is why I said the 780 should just be pre-aiming this gap, because if the Manticore manages to kill the 780, then he can actually escape all the way around the map. And I would actually probably turn around right now and go back up. I don't think I would chase him low, because he's almost definitely gonna go high or go this way. He's not gonna come back this way. And you want to keep the high ground and keep him trapped in the low ground, because then you can kind of isolate where he is. Like you can get him if you take the high ground and then you get spotted in this area after poking, then you know he's in this quadrant, and you can kind of work your way along here and keep him in the low ground. If you go in the low ground yourself, then he could literally go anywhere. So I would have stayed on the high ground. But the Manticore is he probably has no idea where Andrew is right now. I would probably go this way in this situation, because it wouldn't really make sense for the Manticore to come south side. If I had to guess, I would say the Manticore is either on hill or he's somewhere in this area. There's only a minute 40 left, so the capping isn't an option. Not that it really would be much of an option anyway. But your spotting indicator is the best thing you can do in this situation. I would probably go on top of the hill and just try to peek over on both sides just to see where I get lit, like when I get lit, because that will give me information on where the Manticore is. There's only a minute left. He's checking over here. I don't think he's over here. I think he's in the north. That's my guess anyway. But he actually gets lit. And it turns out the Manticore was in the north, but he came back middle. Manticore stops, and he misses. That's unlucky. They're shit talking in chat, because that's what you do in World of Tanks, I guess. The Manticore missed. The Manticore has no reason to go for damage right now. He should just run, if he's playing for a draw anyway. Because he can't win. He can't even reload in time. Like, now, basically, he can't reload in time. So your only chance of winning is the Manticore doing something stupid. But he doesn't. And yeah, this is toxic. Watching this replay makes me sad. But anyway, he did 7,200 damage, 3,800 blocked, which is a shit ton for a VZ. Two of the block shots were from the 60 CP, which were kind of lucky. Although his lower plate was angled a lot for one of those shots, and it looks like he didn't even hit it. He hit his upper plate. But for the second shot, like right here, that was lucky. The 60 TP just aimed poorly. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this replay analysis. Let me know what you think about me commentating over other people's replays and like critiquing and then saying like what they do good. Basically the good and the bad of the replay from my perspective anyway. Do you prefer it over my own replays or do you think it's worse? What do you think? That's all for this episode. I'll probably see you tomorrow with episode 39. See you guys later.